Some of the most ambitious people you'll ever meet are not running towards something. They are running from something. From poverty, from helplessness, from humiliation, from abandonment, from insignificance, from emotional pain they have never fully processed. And because society rewards productivity, many trauma responses become socially celebrated. People say, "She's so disciplined, he's unstoppable, she works so hard, he never slows down." But nobody asks the deeper question: what happens when ambition is fueled by survival instead of peace? Because trauma changes ambition. It changes why people strive, how they strive, what they attach their worth to, and whether achievement ever truly feels like enough. Some people become ambitious because they love creating. Others become ambitious because failure feels like a threat to them. And there is a profound emotional difference between these two lives. Let me ask you this. Do you think your ambition comes more from passion or from the fear of becoming powerless again? Let me know in the comments. Trauma often creates hypervigilance, a constant internal feeling that safety is unstable, that everything can disappear, that love can leave, money can vanish, people can betray you, life can collapse unexpectedly. And when the nervous system learns instability early, many people begin trying to earn safety through achievement. If I become successful enough, if I become important enough, if I become exceptional enough, maybe I'll finally be safe. This belief quietly wires our entire thinking, especially in people who experienced emotional neglect, instability, poverty, chaos, criticism, rejection, unpredictability. Because trauma teaches the nervous system relaxing is dangerous, so ambition becomes armor. Not all ambition feels the same internally. There's a difference between inspired ambition and trauma-driven ambition. Inspired ambition usually comes from expansion, curiosity, purpose, passion, creative excitement. Trauma-driven ambition often comes from fear of failure, fear of irrelevance, fear of returning to pain, fear of not being enough. Externally, both people may appear equally productive, but internally, their emotional experiences are completely different. One person creates from aliveness, the other creates from emotional survival, and eventually the nervous system feels that difference and suffers for it. Many overachievers were praised more for performance than for existence. They learned early achievement brings approval, achievement brings attention, achievement brings validation, achievement reduces criticism, so productivity becomes emotionally charged. You stop creating simply because you enjoy creating and begin creating for permission to feel worthy, and this creates a dangerous cycle. It goes achieve, receive validation, temporarily feel valuable, crash emotionally, seek another achievement. That cycle can continue for decades. It can continue till death, especially in societies that worship productivity while ignoring emotional health. Many high achievers often struggle to rest. For many trauma-affected people, rest does not feel restful. This used to be me. Rest feels vulnerable because stillness allows unresolved emotions to surface. Fear surfaces, grief surfaces, loneliness surfaces, identity confusion surfaces. So people stay busy constantly, working, planning, producing, achieving, optimizing, not always because they love movement, but because silence is a threat. And eventually the person becomes addicted to motion, because motion distracts them from their emotional pain that they never learned how to sit with. The relationship between trauma and perfectionism. Perfectionism is often misunderstood as high standards, but psychologically it is sometimes linked to fear, the fear of criticism, of rejection, of humiliation, of inadequacy. Many perfectionists grew up in environments where mistakes carried emotional consequences. So the nervous system adapted. It says, do everything perfectly, avoid disapproval at all costs. And while perfectionism can create external success, internally it can create chronic tension. Because nothing ever feels fully enough. No achievement satisfies insecurity permanently. The nervous system simply moves the goalpost again. One of the deepest fears trauma can create is the fear of becoming insignificant, invisible, powerless, disposable. So ambition becomes identity. You stop asking what fulfills me and start asking what makes me valuable. That distinction matters more than you think. Because once self-worth becomes attached to productivity, rest begins feeling like failure. And eventually, people no longer know who they are outside of achievement. This is one of the hardest realizations for ambitious people. Success does not heal trauma. Achievements can change your circumstances, but it does not automatically heal your nervous system. You can become wealthy and still feel unsafe internally, successful and still feel inadequate, admired and still feel emotionally empty, because trauma is not about external conditions. It is about internal conditioning. And many people reach goals only to discover, I thought success would finally make me feel okay. But unresolved emotional wounds often survive achievement untouched. Trauma-driven success isn't success, in my opinion. Because what is success when your mind is in chaos, when you can't seem to find lasting joy, when you're constantly grasping for the next big thing? Trauma-driven success often feels frantic internally. It is externally impressive, but there is anxiety underneath it, pressure underneath it, fear underneath it. The person feels constantly chased by an invisible emotional force. Actual success feels different. It may look the same on the outside, but it feels different on the inside. There is ambition, but not self-destruction. There is drive, but not constant panic. There is vision, but also nervous system regulation. And when many ambitious people eventually realize, I do not want success that costs me my entire inner life, this realization changes priorities permanently. Trauma often forces people into emotional survival roles early. The responsible one, the resilient one, the productive one, the capable one, the strong one, and society admires those identities. But what people rarely see is how lonely they can become. Because highly functional people are often denied softness. People assume they are fine, they can handle it, they are strong. So ambitious trauma survivors often become emotionally unsupported while simultaneously carrying enormous psychological pressure, and eventually burnout emerges. Not because they were weak, but because human beings were never designed to survive indefinitely in hypervigilance. Healing does not necessarily mean becoming unambitious. It means changing your relationship with ambition, creating from aliveness instead of fear, building without abandoning yourself, allowing rest without guilt, separating worth from productivity, understanding that you are valuable even when you are not performing. That realization can feel revolutionary for trauma-conditioned people because many never learned unconditional self-worth. Only conditional approval tied to achievement. What trauma survivors must eventually learn is this. Many ambitious trauma survivors reach a crossroads, and trauma survivors must eventually decide, do I want to spend my life proving my worth, or do I want to finally experience my life? Because those are different existences. One is fueled by emotional hunger, the other is fueled by grounded self-recognition. And healing often begins when ambition stops being a desperate attempt to outrun pain. and becomes just a conscious expression of who you truly are. Let me ask you this. If your worth was already guaranteed, how differently would you approach ambition? So yes, trauma changes ambition. Sometimes it sharpens it, intensifies it, weaponizes it. But beneath many extraordinary achievements, there are human beings who learned very early that survival required becoming exceptional. And while ambition can build beautiful things, no amount of achievement can permanently soothe a nervous system that still believes that love, safety, or worth must constantly be earned. So perhaps the deepest healing is not abandoning ambition, but learning how to pursue your dreams without sacrificing yourself to them. Learning that your existence was never supposed to become a non-stop audition for the right to feel valuable. And once that truth finally settles into your body, success stops feeling like survival and starts feeling like freedom, like aliveness. I would like you to answer these questions carefully. Number 1, have you ever pursued a goal so intensely that you disconnected from yourself in the process? Number 2, do you celebrate your achievements fully or immediately move on to the next thing? Number 3, when you imagine slowing down, does it feel peaceful to you or unsafe? I would like to read your answers in the comments. It's been my pleasure as always to sit with you. This has been the Human Mirror. Look closely, you are never invisible. I'll see you in the next reflection.